In the last 6 months of 2020, some of the largest S&P 500 corporations spent more than $35 billion on addressing and redressing racial inequity. But even with all of this investment, we still have yet to see a very substantive move of the needle as it pertains to achieving equity or achieving parity. Why do the both of you think that is? And what will it take, more importantly, for us to get there?
We would desperately love for them to act in a way that makes the work of Bitwise seem so very small. But absent that, we believe that there is a pathway to do it without them.
Yeah, it definitely begins with who you hire, right? And who is doing the recruiting and who is working on the retention. And those faces need to change. The geography of those people and where they sit needs to change. And the faces, the literal faces of the folks doing that job also needs to change.
You're taught in school that America is the great melting pot. And I think the more we lean into diversity, equity, and inclusion, the more we can actually live out those dreams that we have for ourselves as a country.
These Bitwises represent the community, represent Kern, represent the city of Bakersfield. And while our core mission and core values of diversity, inclusion, equity are all the same, we want it to be all of Kern County. And we want to intentionally do that so that the county as a whole is represented.
We are really, really deliberate about who we surround people with, not just in terms of who's at the front of the room, but who's greeting you when you walk through the door. What's the music that's playing, in the background? Do you feel at home? Is your subconscious selecting in? Because I think that that's the experience of so many of us, that we subconsciously self-selected out of what could have been an opportunity for us. And so we're really conscious of those things, and we work really hard to make sure that we don't on purpose do that to other people.
I think that I love the mission. In order to address the needs of those folks who are within the lower third of our economy, we must reduce the barriers of entry, and we must do whatever we can to do that. And I really appreciate Bitwise's model in that intentionality of really seeking out those individuals within the lower third of our economy, those underrepresented communities in the tech industry, bringing them along, and that's something we all will be well served with in the coming years.
We will spend the next 5 years strengthening our work with you to increase diversity and inclusion at all levels of the technology industry. We must open opportunities for workers, especially young people just entering the job market. We must also work to increase diversity in the tech ecosystem, and we can start by focusing on apprenticeship programs, especially in high-skilled, high-wage, and in-demand industry sectors and occupations.
There is a pathway to raise up a tech workforce in cities across the country that have been overlooked. And let's not worry about them getting jobs at Netflix and Amazon and Salesforce. Let's worry about them getting jobs at the school district and at the county office of education, at the hospital, at the agribusiness, at that local startup that nobody believes can make it, because that is where the vast majority of American jobs sit. And ultimately, the weight of that work by itself can tip the scales of the technology industry more towards representation, more towards diversity, more towards inclusion. And it's that we think that is ultimately the solution, regardless of what big tech or the tech economy as a whole decides to do.
And so that, to me, feels exciting, because I think if we do this right in this moment, and we begin to push this diverse technology workforce out at scale, we're going to meet this moment where that talent is being fought over. And that's exciting to me. That's not just a matter of achieving your own agency. That sends a signal. And I think that signal needs to be super loud. I think Bitwise can be a big part of that.